Welcome to Hello and welcome to our tutorial for Computer Lab 1. Here is the course, the detailed shell of the course. So if you see that I have already uploaded one folder here, Computer Lab 1, this module. So if you click course content, and there's a module course, Computer Lab 1. In this Computer Lab, we want to see that how we can use RStudio to do simple tasks uh, with RStudio. So in order to start this tutorial, I recommend you to create a folder on your machine. For example, create a new folder on desktop. Here I call it, let me rename this one and call it as R Lab 1. So R underline Lab 1. And then if there is there are two folders, you see that there are two folders, one of them one PDF and the other one there is a one R file in this module. So we download these two files and drag them into this folder because we want to set this folder as our directory. So you right click and download, and then again download this folder as well. So we drag these two files into our, so let's see here. So we drag these two files into this folder. So now we want to work with these two files for our study, our tutorial. We don't need anything. We don't need to work with the course detail, so we can close it. And now from now on, you don't need even internet, but of course I do need it because I'm recording. So here, if you click on, you see that if I close all the RStudio windows, so if you open this folder, there are two files. One of them is PDF file, which is the RStudio tutorial, which I explained the commands, and we want to walk through these simple tasks and simple commands to learn how we can do simple tasks with RStudio. For example, creating variables and creating vectors, and how to do very simple operations. And the next one is the source file of this instruction. In other words, this is the R file. That's why you see that the extension of this folder is R. So we right click and we open this source file with RStudio. And here is our RStudio. So you'll see that this is the helps file, the commands in the R editor. But I recommend you that, and you see that because we open RStudio this way, so you see that your RStudio automatically set this folder, your directory, and see that there are two files in your directory. And we do more and more this strategy in next labs because we setting directory and reading a data set is very, it's beyond the scope of this class. I don't want to spend my time for them. So we use this tweak to automatically read very quickly our data sets, and we don't need to set the directory. So we use this trick. Anyway, so let's start with each other. So there are two steps. We can type them in the editor or we can use it in console because this is the first time you want to work with R. So I encourage you, you can close this one. And we want to start with our console. And we want to walk through this this tutorial. Let me save it here. And at the same time, I have my RStudio. So you should see both of them. So we try to type in the R console for the first line, and then I'll show you how you can use the editor as well. So for the first one, how to find the help commands in RStudio, the first thing, R is a very popular for its help. It has a very useful help. So for example, if I want to find the help, see that how I can take a logarithm of number 68. So how should I start? So there are one option is that you can type here help, and then you'll see that automatically RStudio suggests you, are you looking for the help? You say that yes, and then parentheses. So we type our command log, and then here once we hit the enter, so once you write your command, let me show you my keyboard. So if your keyboard, so once you type your command, you hit the enter and R compiles it. So you see that once we type the help or log, immediately the help center R, it pops up here, and you'll see that if I show it, make it larger, so you'll see that there is a huge examples and explanation arguments about how you can recall this command log and take a logarithm of a number. Or another way is that you can, what you can do, you can just type question mark log, and then if you what you do is you hit the enter. So then these two commands are exactly the same, and that's why it shows you what are the help center and the description and examples in this case for this command. For example, we'll learn this one and we want to calculate the log. And you see that when I write the log parentheses, the RStudio is very easy to work with RStudio. It suggests you immediately that once you have the command logarithm, you need to provide a number or argument. For example, the number is that I want to calculate logarithm of 68. So I type in logarithm 68, and then once we hit enter, so it calculates for us that it says that the answer of the logarithm 68 is 4.21, and there is a one, it has a one value. That is very easy to work with this. So the next step is that, by the way, because I cannot record the entire of the our lab in one file, it becomes very huge file, so I will have a problem to upload it on the server. So I try to present the lab into different parts. So in the first part, I try to create the 2 or 4 of these sections, and then the rest of the section I will present in other parts. Okay, now we move to the next section, simple task with R. R can be used as a calculator. So for example, we want to calculate what is it 5 times 3. So we know that, and then once we hit the enter, it gives you that. Of course, we know 3 times 5 is 15. Or you can calculate what is the square root of 25. So square root, it is type what? SQRT. And you see that as long as you type SQRT, R automatically suggests you this box that you need to recall the number here. For example, I want to calculate the square root of 25. We know that square root of 25 is 5, and that's why the answer is 5. I want to calculate the power. So for example, I want to see that 4 to power 3. What is that? Or 4 to the 4 squared, or 4 to power 2 is 16. So you can easily, but how to type these? You see that it is a new it's a language, and we need to learn its vocabularies and its word and its grammar. So how to type this notation? So I'll show you again my keyboard. So the keyboard here is that. So for example, I want to type 4. So you see that here the power sign is here. So I hold shift and then you type power. So 4 to power, for example, 3. and then you hit the enter, you see that 4 to the power 3 is 64. Then the next thing is that in order to calculate the absolute value, for example, we know that absolute value of the -7, whatever it is a 7, negative absolute value of the 7 is 7, absolute value of -7 is 7. It's a positive part of that. So you see that when we have R, we don't need a calculator in our computer anymore. And we'll see that by getting used to R, you'll see that R becomes a very, very important part of your machine, and it can help you in different ways, calculating and computing, programming, typing, documenting, and many things. So that was about simple task. So how to create variables. For example, I know that I want to assign a number to an argument, create a variable. For example, I want to create X. We have two arguments for assigning. Assignment operator. You can use either disassignment or equality. They are exactly the same. So X is 5. So by typing X is 5, and then as long as my cursor is here, I hit the enter. So you'll see that here automatically R recognize that. Now from now on, X argument, whenever we use X, it means that X is 5. X is a 5, value of 5, and the length of X is 1 because there's one number saved in X. So now I ask, what is my X? R tells us that X is 5. Or I can use X this way. X is 5. X 5, assign value of 5 to X. As long as I hit enter, so it says that X is still 5. They are the same. How to type this command? So let me show you the keyboard. So you add the keyboard here. So I type X, and then in order to type the assignment, so the assignment you need to type greater than. So that's why we hold the shift and greater, and then dashed and space, and then 5. Hit, and then X is 5. Now we call it, what is the X? X is 5. Or we can change the value of X. What is X? X is 7. Now X is from now on, X is 7. You see that X from now on is 7. It's not anymore 5 because 7 now is assigned to X. Now we can create more and more numbers, more variables. For example, I just want to save Y is 3, and then we can call it Y is 3. Or I can call the Z to be another argument, Z to be, for example, Z to be 4. So now what is that? Z is 4. You'll see that here Y is 3, Z is 4, and they are a number, a value. Now we can recognize these arguments. I want to calculate X plus Y plus Z, and then it gives us 14 because X is 7, as Y is 3, and Z is 4, and 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 plus 7 is 14, and that's it. Or you see that Y is 3, but now I want to see that, so because I have Y now, I don't need to type 3 anymore. So I want to calculate that a Y to power 3 is 27 because Y is 3. 2 times Y, we get 6. Or I want to say that 2 times Y, we get an error. You see why we get an error? Because R is case sensitive. We assign the 3 to lowercase y, but the uppercase capital Y is not an object in R. So we haven't assigned anything to that. So that's why R returns an error that the object capital Y not found. So you can type it here. Now you see that if I get an error, I may not be able to edit this file because as long as you type in the console, it automatically the R runs it, and you get either error or the answer, and you will not be able to edit. But if you want to be able to edit, from now I encourage you to type in the editor, because editor help us to enables us to save to edit our command. For example, I typed again the same command 2 times, uppercase Y, capital Y, and then once you have here, as long as your cursor, either you can highlight it and run, send it, you get the error, or as long as your command, your cursor is here, you see that the cursor is here, so I run it and you get an error. But if I see the error, I can revise it, and now I change it to lowercase y, and then run it, and I get 6 because y is 3. So I stop here. That's the first part of the tutorial, and we cover the next section in the next part. Thank you for now.